All right, so let's talk about peelers. Okay, so like this isn't going to be like fancy editing, nothing like that. I literally just got done watching this. So it's funny actually because I met Seve Shalens and Lisa DeVita last year at, and this will be a full year now at the Julian International Dubuque Film Festival. Or is it? No, I'm sorry, Julian Dubuque International Film Festival. That's why we call it JDIF. And I did an interview with these two. Crescentia was kind enough to hold the camera for freaking half an hour straight and did an interview with these guys. And I felt like such an asshole because it was one of those things where it was like, I'm doing the interview with them, but I hadn't seen the movie. I hadn't been able to. I wasn't able to get into a showing, so I told him, okay, the first thing I do when it comes out, I'm gonna buy it, and sure enough, it came out on Vudu, and I bought it. I bought it on my Vudu subscription, so I'm like, okay, good. Now I can finally watch this. And just sent an inbox about 2 hours ago. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch it. So finally got done watching it, and and don't put this into the wrong context. I'm so glad that I waited. That it was because let me put it to you this way: it was literally a year's worth of anticipation, literally a year's worth of this build up, this freaking anticipation to see this movie. And did it deliver? Fuck yeah, it delivered. Okay, there's like a thin line between the types of horror films that are like the shit that I do, or somebody else for per se. Um, the definition of horror to me is Tusk level, like the unnatural. You would see something that's like a poor son of a bitch being sewn into a fucking walrus suit. Tusk is pure horror. The Human Centipede is pure horror. The second that I saw this minor dude puke oil into this toilet, I said, "This is pure fucking horror right here." But no, I'm so glad because the anticipation was just killing me, and I'm so happy that I got to see this. It was an amazing movie because there's a thin line between where it's like somebody, and then they're like, oh hey, I'm working on a movie, and you're like, and this is the feeling I get with most people when I tell most people, oh, I'm working on a feeling. This is that feeling. They're like, oh, that's nice, that's cute. And it's one of those things where it's like, the person, you're friends with the person, and you're all supportive for them, and it's like one of those things where you feel like, oh, it's some bullshit that they put together in their backyard or something like that. And I'm such a self critic because I love Candyland, and I'm friends with James Clayton and Rusty Nixon. They're such good guys. I love them. I saw Candyland. I was able to squeeze Candyland in the Julian Dubuque International Film Festival, and I even did I did an interview with them too, which. I was like, those are just some of the nicest people, and Seve and Lisa were, and I'm gonna be so happy to see all of these guys again this year. But I made that promise. I was like, as soon as Peelers comes out, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna watch it, and I love this movie. Um, I don't even know if I want to do spoilers or not, but I think I'm gonna do it anyway. So whatever. The people that you think. I'll do a non spoiler thing first. And the people that you think are gonna live, it's one of those type scenarios. It's like Samuel L. Jackson and Deep Blue Sea, and he's out of there. He's done halfway through the movie. So it's a very unpredictable movie, and that's what we need nowadays is more unpredictable movies. They set up the guys you're supposed to root for. They set up the guys you want to see die. They set up this and that, and it's some aspects are stock cliche, which is fine, which is what it takes to make a horror film. Some of those are definitely stock cliche, so that's okay. And then there are the other ones that are like, they throw you curveballs here and there. Literally half the time they are throwing curveballs, which And it was funny because I'm sitting in the interview with these guys, and then talk about this and this and the writing process. I'm like, oh, and of course, I like didn't have the heart to tell them I didn't see the movie, so I'm like, okay, okay. And she's like, oh yeah, and Lisa was explaining about how this movie came about, and I'm like, kind of shaking my head, going, okay, um, I'll I'm pretty sure I'll understand when I see it, and sure enough, oh my god, I am so glad that I saw this movie. Because it's for me it's Monster in the Village. I've been growing up on Frankenstein and Nightmare on Elm Street and Godzilla and pretty much anything associated with, because anybody who knows me knows it all started with Godzilla and then accumulated into like Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and Chucky from there, and all of a sudden I found myself watching James Gunn's um what's the name of the movie, Slither, which this kind of reminds me of, like the whole small town aspect, like the Chuck Russell Blob. And I'm like, oh my god, that like those movies were sick, but I'm like, oh, I love this stuff. And Peelers does not disappoint. So all right, screwed. I'm gonna start talking about spoilers because, first of all, overall impression, yes, it's a good movie. You need to see it. You should see it. You should take your hard-earned cash and see it. You need to. I mean, if you're a dedicated like horror film fan, you need to see it. Okay, spoilers now. Yes, of course. Zeva and Lisa make a cameo at the end, and that is without a doubt the funniest fucking thing I have ever seen in my life. That is without a doubt the funniest thing. Like I met him, and I'm like, okay, this guy's pretty cool. But I didn't even realize until he did his cameo where she shoots a baseball out of her vagina, knocks him right the fuck out. I'm like, okay, this guy is awesome. And it's funny because they're all just sitting there at the end table. But no, that's like the way that they manufacture these monsters, and I'm gonna call it monsters because that's what it is, a fucking monster. And the way that they manufacture them is the way through because it's nobody's really ever done something like this before, which is why I think it's so cool. Like when we're doing Black Friday, we're talking about aliens that operate like oh my god, like I can't even think about how, because I'm talking about this movie and now I'm thinking about Black Friday. And I don't want to talk about Black Friday. I want to talk about this movie because yeah, like I said, this has just been a trip. But no, yeah, screw it. The way that we manufacture our aliens of Black Friday, it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Now these guys, like they had originally told me, they're like, it's not zombies, and I said, okay, what is it? It's vampires. They're like, not vampires. I'm like, what the hell is it then? And sure enough, these guys were able to come up with something so original, it was ridiculous. It's oil. It's chemicalized oil. And I said, that's fucking genius. Like I'm literally sitting here, I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, okay, hopefully, they can write it in a way that as an audience, as a moviegoer, I can understand exactly what's going on. And sure enough, they do. They hit it right out of the ballpark. Now I'm surprised actually the way that they do. Well, the actresses who handled the strippers, I'm surprised actually because I remember talk was he wouldn't tell me how much the budget was, and for good reason, of course. But I'm sure it's definitely a lot more than I thought it was. I'm sure he had enough to secure this. But it's always good when you can make certain contacts where people are willing to take their clothes off. But with some people, it's like, okay, if the money's right, we don't care what the job is. But I'm sure it wasn't on favor either. I could be 100% wrong, and it's not my business to explore it either. But yeah, no, it was definitely it hits the tone with it. So yeah, and I'll probably do a more in-depth video afterwards. But oh my God, this movie is just. Oh, I'm so glad I waited to see it. I am so glad that I waited to see it, and I'm glad that he doesn't pull like the bullshit happy ending where they get away scot free. Fuck that. Fuck that. Everybody needs to see, like every horror film needs to end on a bad note. It just needs to happen. It's got the Nightmare on Elm Street ending. I love it. I love it. So yes, no, definitely worthwhile. Go see this movie. You're a fool if you don't see this movie. Hashtag, that's my quote. Hope to see it on the DVD poster or no, the DVD cover. God, you know what? I would just even be happy if I saw that damn interview on the DVD when I go to buy it. Kudos to Uncorked. I believe it's Uncorked. Uncorked Entertainment. Hang on, I'm actually gonna look this up because I don't want to give credit to the wrong person. Yep, Uncorked Entertainment. Kudos to Uncorked Entertainment. Yeah, I'm very, very happy that they were able to secure. I was very happy that they were able to secure a distributor. I can never say that fucking word for some reason. But yeah, no, I'm very happy that it was the prize was worth the pain. And when I say that, I mean definitely, going through all that turmoil, waiting a year to finally see this movie. And then when I finally did, I was like, thank God, because this movie is amazing. So yes, I highly recommend it. And I'll probably do like an in more depth video or talk about it a little bit more. But no, yeah, I'm thinking about doing an IN101M episode with it because it deserves an IN101M episode. But yeah, no, definitely glad I saw it for sure.